They said he was too good. Now it looks like NASCAR is actually doing something about it. 4 road course wins, 1 rookie season. A record that has never been broken in modern NASCAR history. And here is the part that should make every fan watching from Auckland, Sydney, or the Gold Coast sit up straight and pay attention. The rulebook has been quietly shifting. No press conference, no shiny announcement, no big reveal, just a carefully constructed series of procedural changes that, when lined up side by side, point directly at one man, Shane van Gisbergen. The official line is always safety or better racing, but the reality tells a very different story, and there is a hidden pattern buried inside all of this that the American mainstream media is not talking about yet. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how the system is being quietly re-engineered to stop the Kiwi Masterclass. Before we go any further, if you are tired of recycled NASCAR coverage that glosses over the technical truth and ignores what is actually happening behind closed doors, hit like and subscribe right now. We are building something real here, and every single subscriber is part of that mission. SVG did not just arrive in NASCAR and win. He arrived and schooled an entire field of seasoned American veterans on their own turf. If you are watching from Auckland, Sydney, or the Gold Coast, you already know this feeling well. A bloke from New Zealand rolled into the most American motorsport on the planet and made it look completely routine. He did not sneak through a chaotic race or benefit from strategy calls. He went wheel to wheel with the best drivers in the country and came out ahead repeatedly on every road course they put in front of him. That is not a hot streak. That is a structural mismatch. NASCAR does not like it when the established order gets disrupted. The rule changes that have followed are not coincidental. They are structural reactions designed to restore that order. And once you see the pattern clearly laid out, you genuinely cannot unsee it. To understand why SVG is so completely untouchable on a road course, you need to understand the technical truth that most coverage simply skips over. The next-gen car, the Gen 7, runs a 5-speed sequential gearbox, and critically, it is clutchless. You can bang up and down through the gears like a superbike. No clutch pedal needed. No heel and toe, no blipping. On an oval, that is perfectly fine. Left turn, hold the throttle, manage the traffic. But on a road course, that sequential gearbox changes everything about how a driver attacks a corner, manages braking zones, and controls the car under load. This is precisely where SVG's Australian supercars background becomes an absolute weapon. Shane spent his entire career in Australian supercars, heavy, brutal H-pattern, and dogbox machinery where clutch control. Throttle blipping on the downshift and driveline shock management were not optional skills, they were survival skills. He learned to load and unload the drivetrain with millimeter precision. He learned trail braking, carrying the brake deep into the corner while simultaneously rotating the car on the throttle, not as a technique he studied, but as second nature. So when he steps into a cup car, he is not spending a single brain cell thinking about the mechanics of shifting. His mind is completely free to work the brake, the rotation, the tire, and the exit. And that freedom is everything. The modern American oval driver is genuinely extraordinary at what they do. Phenomenal at holding the throttle flat through a banking at 190 miles per hour, managing traffic, and conserving equipment over long runs. But on a proper road course, they are managing mechanical processes that Shane stopped consciously thinking about years ago. He is a step ahead before the green flag even drops. The numbers confirm every word of it. SVG turned road courses into a near monopoly. 5 of 6 on the schedule in one stretch: COTA, Chicago, Mexico City, Watkins Glen. That is not variance. That is not luck. That is a systematic and repeated mismatch between his skill set and the demands of the circuit. Denny Hamlin himself said SVG's edge in tire management on demanding road courses might be the biggest advantage in the field. Kyle Larson, a road course specialist and former champion in his own right, stated plainly that Shane is way better than us on road courses. These are not fan opinions. These are verified quotes from championship-winning drivers who line up against him every single week and know exactly what they are looking at. Hamlin went even further, calling SVG the most dominant driver-car combination on road courses in NASCAR history and stating that nobody's beating him in this car for a long time. When drivers of that caliber say something like that publicly, the people upstairs are listening very carefully. Now here is where it gets genuinely uncomfortable. Watch the language NASCAR has been using. Before the 2023 season, they eliminated stage break cautions on road courses. The stated reason was improving race flow and restoring strategic variety. Elton Sawyer, NASCAR's senior vice president of competition, said at the time, "When we introduced stage racing 4 or 5 years ago, we took an element of strategy away from the event. So we felt like this is going to bring some new storylines." On the surface, that sounds reasonable, but consider the practical effect. A stage caution was the single most reliable mechanism for erasing SVG's race lead. It was the reset button. Without it, once he builds a gap, that gap stays. And the results confirm this immediately. The next 2 road course cup races, Indianapolis and Watkins Glen, each produced just 1 caution and ran in just over 2 hours. SVG was untouchable during both. So what happened next? NASCAR quietly reinstated stage break cautions beginning with the Charlotte Roval in October 2023. Sawyer confirmed the reversal live on SiriusXM NASCAR radio, saying, "Probably the most important part of this decision-making was, if you look back at our 5 previous road course races, although they were competitive, there were some that felt like there were some things we could do differently, obviously going back to the caution stage breaks, that would potentially make our races better." And when directly asked whether further format changes were coming, Sawyer did not close the door. His exact words, "I would say all of that's on the table." In corporate language, that means the data is being studied, the levers have been identified, and they will be pulled at the moment it becomes necessary. Every single one of those levers, where they cost momentum, how they are timed, and which type of driver they disadvantage, points in one direction. Follow the money, because that is what this ultimately comes down to. NASCAR is a business. It is built on big teams, major sponsors, and marketable American stars. A part-time specialist from New Zealand, driving for Trackhouse Racing, not one of the established mega teams with decades of political capital in the garage, arriving a handful of times per season and systematically embarrassing the entire field, does not align with the product being sold to broadcasters and sponsors. The mega teams investing tens of millions of dollars annually expect results. When a road course specialist consistently outperforms them in front of a national television audience, that pressure does not stay in the garage. It travels upstairs, into the meetings where decisions are actually made. And then comes what can only be described as the nuclear option. The playoff trap. Under the old win and in format, 4 road course wins would have guaranteed SVG a playoff spot without a single additional argument. Automatic, non-negotiable. Under the current restructured point system, winning specific races no longer guarantees postseason entry. It is total accumulated points across the full season. And a road course specialist who dominates select events while still developing consistency on ovals gets mathematically squeezed toward the cut line. Analysts confirmed SVG was sitting right on the playoff bubble, fighting for a provisional spot, even with race wins already logged. Absorb that reality for a moment. A driver wins 4 races and might still miss the playoffs. If you sat down and deliberately designed a point structure to neutralize a driver whose entire competitive strength is winning specific events rather than grinding oval finishes week after week, you would design exactly this system. Is it a calculated, deliberate hit? Or simply a convenient outcome that benefits the established order? That is the question this sport needs to answer honestly. Here is what the record shows without any ambiguity. Talent finds a way. Shane van Gisbergen has proven that in every category he has competed in throughout his career. Whether it is adjusted formats, reinstated cautions, restructured playoff mathematics, or whatever procedural change arrives next, the Kiwi keeps locating the front of the field. The machine keeps adjusting. The result keeps repeating. This channel is still in its early days, and we are genuinely working toward 1,000 subscribers. If this breakdown gave you something real, something the mainstream coverage is not delivering, please hit like, hit subscribe, and help us keep building the platform this story deserves. It means more than you know. I want the comment section completely lit up on this one. Is this fair competition or a targeted hit on the Kiwi? If you believe SVG wins regardless of whatever they throw at him, drop talent in the comments. If you believe NASCAR has officially gone too far, drop stopped below. And here is the question I want to leave you with. If a driver wins 4 races in a season and the system is still designed to keep him out of the playoffs, what does that say about the integrity of the sport itself? Keep the faith. Keep supporting the Kiwi. Trackline out.